Hello everybody, welcome. If you're here, it's to heal and evolve. So I'm going to try and bring through spirit now. Let's see who it is and what they have to say. The second half of this video will be what I channeled yesterday, which is also very much worth sticking around for and listening to, because it's so reassuring and interesting, and as it always is when you're channeling, you know. So let's get into it and let's see who's here and what message they have to share. Hello, beautiful ones. I am so glad to be here. What a special thing it is for us to be able to communicate with you. These are exciting times. I am so excited for you and with you. I see all of you that are coming together, following that light and that call to rise, to move forwards, to expand. Our hearts and your hearts are full. We can feel and see that opening to your heart. They beam like lighthouses. And that is to say, energetically and visually, it brings us so much joy. You beautiful ones that are stepping up, stepping forwards in your language. This path, even though you do not have to, it is your choice. Keep joining together. Keep looking towards each other to keep the energy high and support each other, connect with each other. Let the changes happen around you, whether it's on your planet or cosmically. You don't need to attach. Just allow and keep tuning inwards towards that inner core or light of something more expansive. That higher vibration, higher resonance, and it will all unfold in due time. There are many beings that are there not so much just waiting for you to do this, but that are happy to connect with you on that level when you are arriving there, and tuning in and achieving these higher states of consciousness and connecting to the greater fields that we can connect and do connect to. There are all sorts of beings in what you call the universe, not all of the highest intention, but many are. who live at what you call the love vibration or the love energy. And we are so pleased to see more and more of you connecting to that. Don't forget your joy. Your joy is what connects you to your heart, where this access is possible. The joy in its highest sense is bliss, what you call bliss. And so joy is like the doorway up to that bliss, which all of us know how to access. For many of us, it is our normal state. Awakened consciousness, the highest resonance, which is source. Keep attuning to that. We know things can be challenging and distracting from this feeling, as you call it. It is not actually just a feeling. It is more than that. The feeling of it is more easy for you humans to access. The feeling is like the lower side or the access point of that vibration, and you can access these different vibrations. It is hard to find the words in your language that capture exactly what it is that I refer to. But it matters not. Access the feeling and it opens you to that vibration or resonance where these lower or more dense desires and feelings do not exist. But as humans, you can choose on this spectrum of resonances and densities where you want to be, which space you occupy. And you can move in and out. And so many of you are now choosing the higher end of this spectrum. It is beautiful, is it not? This higher end is where we can meet you. I cannot express how much we admire and see you that are making these choices. No choice is wrong. You should know that. You are human and it is your will to go where you want, vibrationally speaking. So do not feel bad if you choose what we could call lower density, lower vibrations, or dip in there accidentally. in sadness or anger or jealousy. These are human emotions. We send you much love. What an interesting being. I've not had that one before. It was a star being of some sort. I don't know exactly which. With channeling, a lot of times it's not always clear. A lot of us cannot know exactly who is coming through. And that doesn't mean that it's not real, authentic. In fact, sometimes I think some channelers might name things that they're not certain about. So I would rather be clear when I know or when I don't know who is coming through. But it was very lovely, very full of joy for us, and such happiness. There was such happiness with it. I was channeling yesterday, and this is also really interesting. So let's get into that. So I asked, what's happening to us at a micro level, macro level, and cosmically? What's happening to us in these times? What's going on? And they said there is a gradual transformation happening on your earth and to your beings. You are all transitioning, not just humans, but your animals as well, and your earth itself. Nothing in the universe stays the same. There is also change and shift happening in one way or another. You are moving from rigid structures of your systems, ideas, and thoughts. These ways cannot survive this transformation or shift. It is simply what you call evolution. Nothing stays the same forever. Earth itself is currently rupturing due to these changes, and they were showing me the earthquakes, the floods, the volcanoes, etc. But this is because things have to partially break and crack as they undergo change. It's temporary, but on a personal level, it feels very disruptive, intense, and impactful. But it is just until the transformation has occurred. This is part of her cycle, Earth. The metaphorical boat is being rocked for humans and all life on Earth, in fact. But when you are going through change, you have to keep your focus, your goal, or aligning to the new place you are arriving at. Not give up or throw in the towel. In personal transformation, you know that you can't forget that and give in to lower vibrational activities. So for those of us, they were referring to those of us that are actively allowing transformation, evolution of ourselves. We, as hard as it is, we struggle along the way, but we don't just chuck it away and, necessarily give in and just go, oh God, I can't be bothered, it's too much hard work. They said, don't give in, don't give up. Stay the course until transformation and evolution has occurred, and you keep shedding and changing with it. They went on to say, you've been encased in things that are your own making. Hurts, ideas, beliefs. You believed in the certainty of your own knowledge. They were referring to very much humanity here, the growth and evolution of humanity over the last couple of thousand years. You believed in certainty of your own knowledge, and it stopped you growing. It has been a process, and it is a process. There is nothing wrong with that. Everything has its cycle, its developmental stages. Your bodies, as they have been for so long, have supported this stage of your development, But when developmental change occurs, the body changes with it to support that new stage, as does the mind and the level of consciousness. Your abilities on all levels have matched your developmental stage. With higher consciousness comes a body that supports that. But one cannot develop without the other. So how do we support this change in our bodies and consciousness? That's what I asked. Reduce the density, the limitation you place on it. Like your choices and your willingness to let go of what you don't need. You humans hold on too much, either through choice or limited belief in possibility. There are some of you that make money from people making these choices and having limited belief, not because you are necessarily evil, but because you let your own limitations of your personalities make these choices. But many, many of you are seeing through this now and releasing okay, so this word, they sometimes give me words that are not exactly correct in English, but they feel it portrays, it describes itself. It's the best word in the moment. So they said, many of you are seeing through this now and releasing the victim mindset of manipulation and limitation. You are going through a period of great liberation to more freedom and self-guidance about what is important, who you really want to be. Things that are keeping you limited and more dense are the foods you eat, the drinks you take, the wounds you carry from experiences within your lifetime as well as other lifetimes before. You let yourself be influenced and taken away from your own sense of knowing, and you haven't resisted. But you are tired of this. And although some of you are struggling to come away from self-appointed or group-appointed authority figures, and you feel confused about what is your truth, this too is just a stage, part of the transition. So, of course, we have in society these self-appointed figures who say that they're an authority. Again, not through evil. That wasn't the feeling that they were giving me. It was just through limitation of personality. Also group appointed. So that's referring to who we vote for, who we choose to take over the position of telling us what is best for us, what we need to do, and that we should follow them. When enough of you rediscover your own connection to knowledge, this causes a collective growth of this through connection at higher levels of consciousness, a joining together of consciousness that then influences more and others. You call this raising your collective vibration or consciousness. And they were showing me here this sort of coloured light above us all that then we were tuning into, and then it was connecting up and creating this field, this greater, higher field that then others find easier to tune into, to tap into, to rediscover their own sense of inner knowledge, connecting upwards or to higher vibrations, where the more knowledge is more accessible, and retaking back self-empowerment. So stay focused and be prepared to make the choices that align with what you are becoming. You know how to care for Earth and each other, but you previously as beings have not collectively agreed to this. You haven't raised your consciousness, but you do know what is needed. This is a big step and part towards supporting this transformation, not choosing the lower density self-oriented decisions, but choosing to care for. It is obvious, is it not, but it needs saying, or should I say, supporting. These steps are to be taken from the heart. Start there. Choose generosity, kindness, helping, whether it is earth, animals, or other humans. These choices will propel your growth and choice to support your own development. You are responsible for yourselves and the growth to make that happen. So this energy that came through yesterday was more like a motherly and teaching role. So it felt like either Mother Mary, but I think more along the lines of someone like Mother Teresa. I was shown them in a sort of headcloth, like a nun or something similar. It was an ascended being, someone who had been here on earth before at some point in time. So there's some beautiful messages coming through. Some of this end part of this message about taking care of each other, choosing generosity, kindness, that's not a popular message. I know it's not exciting and wild and Arcturian or something else that is truly exciting and grabs the attention of us all, you know, particularly in these times when we're looking for the excitement and the sensationalism. But part, or big part, as they were saying, a big step and part towards supporting this transformation is making choices like that. It's not all about exciting stuff. It's about choosing kindness and generosity every day or as much as you can. And that includes towards yourself. So it's not all about giving. So all of us people pleasers out there who tend to give. I'm a Virgo, so service is very much part of who I am, service to others, helping. But it's also remembering that for yourself, taking care of yourself, joining those two together, finding the midpoint, caring for others, caring for yourself. That's all I have for today. If you want to do live online work with me, come over to my Patreon. Patreon, I do a monthly live where we go live together as a group. I talk about a topic that has come through for me that is particularly relevant in that time for us all. And then I do a guided practice. So it could be about anything to do with coming back to our true self, our higher self. It could be a heart-opening practice. Anything that is coming through me as particularly helpful at a moment in time. So I do that every month. You have to join the lives, you have to be a paid member. It's just €8 a month. I love those lives. The energy now, Spirit is recognizing when I'm coming through every month and bringing in more and more energy towards these lives. So working together is lovely. And you also we do a Q&A at the end, so you've got time to ask any questions, anything that's coming up for you, anything about what we've done in that session. So it's a beautiful time of us actually connecting in real time. Otherwise, you can find me on Instagram and here on YouTube every week doing channelings. I occasionally post here meditative or inner experience practices that help us do the work, that shed the stuff that we don't want to hold on to anymore, and we're struggling a little bit on how to do that. Okay, thank you for being here. Much love as always, and I'll see you next time.